Hello, how are you all? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday evening. It's actually still light out there. It's like almost, feels like it might be summer soon. I mean, not the weather doesn't. It's been blooming freezing here. It's not, but yeah, it's like 7 o'clock and it's still light outside. I do like it. How are you all? I hope you're all okay. I am feeling much better. I'm about 90% there now. I'm definitely better than I was, and yeah, not too shabby now, which is good. We're going to do the quilt along today, obviously, because we're doing a 7 o'clock rather than a 1 o'clock. So I'm going to say hello to everybody. So hi Claire, hi Jean, hi Sarah, hi Natalie, hi Heather, hi Sue. Hello everybody. But before we do that, I'm going to do the challenge post that I set last week, and I've got to ask Sarah to do it yesterday. So hi Anne, hi Jean, hi Ali, lovely. Hello everybody. Sorry, excuse me, I'm a little bit croaky, but yeah, I'm just going to have to sweep my water through. So what was the challenge post? Challenge post was summer. Show me all things summer, because we were trying to will in that warm weather, weren't we? So there were some very lovely things, really lovely things. I like the fact that you just took the idea and kind of ran with it a little bit, which was fab. I really liked, oh God, sorry, I can't remember what the lady's name was. She had this beautiful blue bench with some cushions on it, really bright, beautiful cushions, which just felt like you were on a little Greek holiday somewhere. There was a really lovely bee wreath. There were some beautiful quilts. There were sunglasses, cases, all sorts of lovely things. So thank you to everybody who entered. I popped all your names in a hat, so you're all on the bits of paper. Ooh, pop that one back in. All in the hat, all in the bag, hats, you know. So we're going to make some noise. Shake you all up. Hi Bernie, hi Joe, hi Karen, hi Linda, hi Carol, lovely, hi everybody. Ladies, you might see on the comments, it says Phoebe's Storefront. That's my friend Jo, who does the most amazing cross stitch. She's just a fantastic cross stitcher. She's the lady that I shared the post to the gigglers about the cross stitch kit that you could buy to help raise funds for the Ukraine. So if you are a cross stitcher and you haven't bought it, pop over to pop over to the gigglers, there's a link there, or pop over onto Facebook. She does some beautiful cross stitch stuff, really lovely. So right, we give it a good shake and then get the hand in there like that, give it a real good whiz around, okay, and then let's go in that corner there. Okay, so we have got Lisa Fowler. Lisa Fowler, congratulations, you've come out the hat for the challenge post. And I picked this one, this little fat quarter bundle, because it was all seasidey and I thought it was pretty for summer. Okay, so this is coming the way to you, to Lisa Fowler. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing all your bits and pieces. I do like to see it all. I love how you come up with different themes, you know, things that go in with the theme as well. We will, of course, do more challenge posts. So, before I go to the overhead, what we're going to look at this week, which is week 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5. I had to think then. Is we're going to look at the applique row, which is this one here. Okay. Now, if you've done your other rows or you're halfway through your other rows, I did see a post in the gigglers. Don't worry if the one row doesn't fit. We didn't put the spacers in. Okay, so don't worry about that. They were supposed to be smaller blocks. That's the one that's tucked over there. I had to hoik it up to get it in shot. Hopefully you can see it. But we're going to have a look at this one, okay? And I'm going to show you 3 different types of applique, 3 different ways you can do it, okay? So first things first, what we want to do is go to the overhead. There we go. Oh, hang on. Why did that not work? Try that. Guys, am I over here? Because I remember I can't see the screens. Let me know if I'm over here. Oh, hang on. Everything's moved. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, my darlings. Okay, right. Hang on. I'm going to just have to flip to the screen a second. Hi, Louise. Thanks for joining us. Let me just let it catch up a minute and see if we're over here. Okay, right. Hang on. I've got to do a bit of hocus pocus. Wait for the screen to catch up. I'm hoping that I'm sort of here. If I am, shout, please, because the scout arrived earlier and the baby was here. Oh yeah, I can see it now. That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm in the right place. It takes about 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm on the overhead. This is the first applique you ever did. Oh, yeah, and our Lindy Lou is blooming brilliant at applique. She's proper good at it. So, with the pattern on this one, again, it's on the website if you need it. And it gives you, let me just, come on, where's my sheets? So it's going to give you a little bit of detail about how, what size we're going to cut and how you're going to put it all together. Okay, I'm not going to show you exactly how each of these are put together. I'm going to show you how to use this bit, okay, the template bit. But we're going to talk about because basically applique is applique. All right, so we're going to talk about the 3 different types of applique and how, just very briefly, on how to put these blocks together. It's pretty simple, to be honest. You're going to have three rectangles, actually 2 squares and a rectangle. So 2 measuring 13 by 13, which are your end blocks. Okay, hopefully this is in the right place. And then you need another one that's 16 by 13, which is your centre one. Okay, you then need 2 rectangles which measure 6 by 13, which are going to be these 2 here. And again, we're going to put that together, and then if you need to make it longer or shorter, depending on how your books are together, your blocks go together, you will put a piece on the ends to make it the right length. But we'll go through that when we're doing the final one to put it all together. So you're literally just going to follow what you need in your background fabric, and then I'm going to talk you through how you can applique and how you can do that. Okay. It does give you a little bit of info there on the different ones and what you need to square them up to at the end. Okay, but always go slightly bigger with applique. Go bigger, and then you can cut down, because when you're manipulating the fabric, it can stretch and warp. So even though we're going to go 13 by 13, they actually end up 12.5 by 12.5. Okay, so with the templates you've got 2 for block A, okay, and 2 for block B. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're literally going to just chop up the dotted line like that. All right, and I didn't pick up my sellotape, so have I got a glue pen here? Let me see if I've got a glue pen in my pot, and just do that with it. Okay, line up your lines. Have I got a glue pen in there? Oh, why have I never got anything when I really want? I can see one. There we go. 2 seconds. Let me grab a glue pen. I'm over here. There we go. Okay, so chop up that one, and you're going to use this as a placement guide as well as the actual shapes for your applique. Okay, so you can tape it, glue it, whatever. All right, like that, and line up that dotted line with that line there, so that you've got a little template guideline. Okay, I'll just try and get it to go right. There we go, like that. All right, so that would be block A, which are your 2 smaller blocks, and then block B, you can do exactly the same. It's very slightly different. Okay, I'm going to go up like that, and then we're going to add that on like that. Okay, so again, a little bit of glue on the back. Oh, it's all got threads and all on it, but never mind. It'll work for now. So what I thought we could do today is just talk about some of the different ways you can applique this. So we're going to look at bond-webbed applique, okay, and then we're going to look at needle turn, and then we're going to look at fused applique as well, which is different to, fused applique, which is using bond web, needle turn, which is using freezer paper, and then we're going to use an interfaced applique, which is using a very, very fine interfacing. Okay, so we're going to use, I'm not actually, first thing I would do, if you're, I'm going to get my thoughts right. If you want to do the bond web, which is your fused applique, put some interface in, medium to light heavyweight interface in, not the really, really thick stuff. So you've got a medium, which is 220, or the 250, which is the usual one. Put that on the back of your square, all right? Because if you're going to do this on the machine, or if you're going to blanket stitch, it will stabilise the whole thing. It'll stop the stretching, stop it moving about too much. You won't get as much warpage, okay? The next thing I would do is I would then just centre this up. So just find the centre and crease like that, okay? And line that. Now I'm hoping, can you guys see the hearts through? I'm hoping you can. If not, you can stick it on a window so you could see it, or on a light box, okay? I'm hoping you can see that on screen, that you can see the hearts through. What I would do is either with a chalk pencil that'll brush off, or a Fix-On, just very, very lightly, just trace out roughly, just to get your placements, okay? So you can just trace out very, very roughly where your hearts are going to go, all right? Bond web. Let's talk about fused applique. For those of you, some of you will have done this lots and lots and lots, as our Lindy Lou was. You can see the hearts, so brilliant, fabulous. Okay, some of you might not have done it, so I wanted to talk you through it. So, and we've done this a lot, we've used Bond web a lot. So Bond web is a little very thin layer of glue, which has got paper one side, and that's the shiny smooth side, and then this is actually the glue side, okay? What you're going to do with this one is you are going to trace out all of your hearts for this block. If this is the method you choose to use, you want to trace them all out, okay? So let me just grab a pencil. I wasn't very organised today, was it? Don't use Fix-On with this, because the minute you iron it onto the fabric, you're going to regret it. Okay, so you literally just trace out your hearts with Bond web, and I've got the rough side down, paper side up, so that I'm drawing on the paper. Okay, and I would trace out all of my hearts like that. I can get a little one up there. They don't have to be as the template is at this point, just, you know, you can be a bit more frugal with your, sorry, am I in the right place? I might be a bit high, mightn't I? There we go, I can get that one in there. Okay, so trace out all your heart shapes, like that. Okay, I'm just going to do 3 of them for now, alright, and then I'll use the rest of this to show you interfaced and needle turn as well. Cut them out roughly, okay, so you want to cut them out bigger than the pencil line, alright? Don't cut on the pencil line at this point, because that's not how it works. You want to cut it out slightly bigger, alright? Like this. I just realised I've got my big iron, so you can see I've just cut them all out, but we're just going to do 3. So, how have you all been? Is everybody okay? You all alright? Anybody got anything interesting to tell me? Let me just plug my little iron in a second. Have you had your tea yet? Josh has just made the most amazing, like these chicken, like flatbread things with like a spiced chicken in a honey mustard and dill sauce. It was delicious. Quickly grabbed one of those before I came on air. I've got another one waiting for me when I come off, because they're only little. So trace out all your hearts, okay, like this. Pop your template aside, and then you can decide which fabrics you're going to use. Now, I think this would be your accent fabric, okay? You know that when I gave you the cut instructions ages and ages ago, you wanted some accent fabrics. Use whatever you want. I'm going to do red just because it shows up nicely. I chose red on the quilt behind me because I think it went nicely with the blues. But it might be that, you know, if you've used all, I know, lilacs and purples, it might be that you want to go, excuse me, I've got hiccups now, you want to go with maybe a green or a pink or something that complements it, whatever you want to use for your accent. You could just stick in your colour scheme. You don't have to do it a different colour. You could absolutely just stick to your colour scheme. Your family makes extremely weird. I am very lucky, Claire, that I've got, both myself and my husband were chefs before we met, and when we met and we both changed jobs. And Drew and Josh were both trained as chefs as well. They've both changed jobs again now, but we all of us are very foodie here, so I am very lucky. I just never cook, it's brilliant. So, back to Bond web. Bond web, the glue side, the rough side, goes on the wrong side of the fabric. This is the complete opposite to needle turn, okay? So, glue side down, wrong side of fabric. So let's just pull this over like this, and I'm going to iron these on to the wrong side of my fabric. Now I'm going to do these all in the same fabrics, but there's no reason why you have to do that. You could do every heart, you know, the same, you know, a different colour. You could do every heart the same. It's your quilt. You do it as you want. Okay. So I'm just going to use this little corner of this bit of red here. Allow it to stick as well. You've got to give the iron time to sort of activate. Okay, so I'm doing this quite quickly, guys, so that I can get through all 3 types of applique for you, because I want to be able to show. This is the one that we use sort of most often, but I want to be able to show you the other types as well, just to give you an option really, because this can be done hand or machine, where the other two are most definitely, well, can be machine, but needle turn can't, but the interface can. Once you've done that and you've fused it and it's stuck to the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric, you can then cut these out. Okay, so we've done quite some, quite big tutorials, longer tutorials on applique, which you'll find on our YouTube website as well. If you sort of want a sort of more detailed one of this, or you want it slightly longer. Okay, cut them out like that, and we're going to cut all these three out just so that I've got a little bit to show you. Okay, and then we're going to just talk through machine blanket stitching. A lot of people love to do this by hand blanket stitch. I am afraid life is too short for me and hand blanket stitching. I do not like it. I do not do it. If I'm going to do blanket stitch, it's always on the machine. And that's a bit of the control freak in me. I like the fact it's always the same. I like the neatness of it. If I'm going to seam my stitches, I want them to be right. So there we go. Like that. Okay, so I've just cut those three out. Hi Jane, hello. Oh, hello Susie as well. Don't worry about being late. Natalie sounds really good. It was really good. You're having Swedish meatballs and mashed potatoes for tea tonight. Nice. Oh, God, I love a Swedish meatball though. Yum yum yum. So this is why you would then you want to be able to see through your hearts. Okay, so I would line this back up like this. So I've got my centre running through my template. I'd cut all my hearts out, and then you can start adhering them. So easiest way to do it is to score the paper. So if you score it with a pin, it peels off really, really quickly, because you don't want to pick at the edge, because that's now fused. The pressure of the scissors fuses it. So don't pick at the edge, score it and peel the papers off. Okay, you can then position this. Now you can draw it out on this, or if you've got a good enough, if you're using a light enough fabric, you can just pop the template underneath and you can add them in like this. Okay, so that one's one of that size. Okay, and you can just add them in. All right, now this is going to be a little bit dull because they're all the same fabric, but actually it won't be dull, it'll be pretty, be fine. There we go, and I can add that one up there. All right, and you would add all of them on, and then you can pop your iron onto it, okay, like that, and fuse them down. Okay, I'm doing it very lightly because I'm not moving the board again. I'll have to hand stitch. You don't trust your machine around applique. I'm going to very quickly go round that, Carol, for you, okay, just so you've got an idea. Okay, you first did appliques as part of your craft store demo in lockdown. Oh, the birdhouse kitchen. Oh, lovely. Oh gosh, yeah, that was yeah, it's nice that way. So you would lay it all out, fuse it all down. Okay, if you want a raw edge applique, you can just stitch round this, just like with a single row of stitching. Okay, just a normal straight stitch. It will fray a little bit, but that's a raw edge applique look. Okay, you can do that, or we can do blanket stitch, which I'm going to just very briefly show you on the machine. So we're going to come over to here. Oh, excuse me. Right, oh, sorry, I've still got my 1/4" foot on. Let me just flop this over. My bobbin's just about to go. Typical. Let me just put one in for now. Let me just put a random one in for now. Typical, isn't it? Well, that shows I was playing bobbin chicken with it last. Oh my goodness, I need to clean my machine out. Got a thread stuck in there. Come on. Well, that was all that was left on the bobbin. That was good bobbin chicken, wasn't it? So what's that, Linda? Today you've been coaxed back into doing some sewing. Yes, appliquing soon. Fabulous. Yeah, it's about time you had a bit of a sew, Lind. Just finding something that interests you, isn't it? Sometimes it's difficult. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to leave the white in so hopefully you can see. Right, and I'm going to move the camera that way, so hopefully you're looking at this. All right. Now on my machine, I've got a blanket stitch, which is, I've got to just find it now, it's that one, I believe, and 08, okay. No, that's not it, because that's the really thick one. That's the one for like stretch stitching on. It's that one. Oh, yes. On my machine, it's 38, I believe. So it's that one and then 3/8. That's it. Okay. And you can see this is my width, which is in the centre. Okay. So that's how big it's going to jump in and out of the fabric. And that's my stitch length. So that's how far apart it's going to be. So the 3.5 is referring to how big it jumps into the fabric. So if I take that up, it'll jump much further into the fabric. This one is how far apart those stitches are. So if I went up, they'd maybe, like you wouldn't have that one there, it would jump up further. If you go down, they'd be closer together. Okay, so have a play around on a scrap piece of fabric first. That's what I would suggest. Oh, Eileen, no. Oh, bless you. I hope you don't feel too bad, lovely. Oh, everybody's been getting it. Sarah was rotten for a few days. She's still feeling a little rough, but she's definitely over it now. Now, I also know that this is going to jump into the fabric this way. So my like straight bit is going to come in this way, and my needle is going to move in this way, I believe. Yes, it is. It's been a while since I've done this. So I'm going to put my needle right down on the edge of the fabric. Oh, hang on. Let me move this back over here. Right, it's not in the right place, ladies, so you can see it, yeah? I'm right on the edge there, like that. I'm going to put my needle down, and I'm going to slow my machine right down so that you guys can see this. When you're machine blanket stitching, learn the rhythm of your machine. Now mine, on this one, it's a series of 5 stitches. So it comes forward, back, forward, into the fabric and back out. That's the 5. And you want to learn to take your foot off the pedal as it's going down into 5. Okay? Practice, practice, practice with it on a little bit of scrap fabric about learning that rhythm of what your blanket stitch is. Okay? So mine is 1, 2, 3, in, and back is 5. So it's forward, backwards, forward, in, back. Okay? And you learn that rhythm. Learn that rhythm. And once you've learned that rhythm, you can watch the needle and stop it just as it hits that 5 each time. Being able to stop on the 5 is really important for getting round, or whatever your end of your stitch is. For me, it's 5. For getting round these tight points, it makes it much, much neater. Okay, so I'm just going to whiz down this side a minute. Okay, like that. Whiz down the side until I get towards the point. Okay, so I'm going to know that I can get another stitch in there and slow it back down again. And back. I can get another one in there before I've got to turn my point. I can actually get another one in there. There we go. Oh, see, that's on the in bit, so I want one more stitch to get it out. Stopping my needle in so I can turn, and I can come up this side now, okay? If you try and stop and turn before your machine has finished its stitch, it'll go off in the wrong direction. Okay, so all I'm doing now is just concentrating on keeping the needle on the very edge of the red fabric. So not on the red fabric, like right alongside it. Okay, is all that making sense, guys? Are you okay with what I'm talking about? Right, let me just go. I'm just going to whiz up here a minute, okay, just to get to the point that I want to show you. Going to whiz around this. So when I start to get to this curve of the heart, slow it down again, stop it on the 5, and just do little tiny pivots to keep that needle right on the edge. Okay, so I'm taking maybe 2 or 3 stitches maximum, making sure the foot lifts. If you've got a knee lift is brilliant for this. Oh, see, I did one too many there, so I need to make sure that stitch finishes. There we go. Okay, right, that's pretty much as far as we need to go. Alright, so I'm going to come back over to the overhead. Ooh, there we go, back over here. If I hold this, hopefully you guys can see this. Hang on, I've got leads and all in the way now. Come on, up out there, out the way. There we go. Oh, that's not going to stay up there. You might have a lead in the way, I'm really sorry. you can see, hopefully you can see that it's nice and neat here, okay, because I took my time and I learnt the rhythm to go round. All right, you can do that by blanket stitch if you want to, by hand blanket stitch if you want to. I'm too lazy, I can't be bothered. I always do it on the machine. Okay, so have a little go. That's fused applique if you want to use bond web. That's one way of doing it. Other way of doing it is to use interfacing, which is a fused applique, but it's a different type. So what we need for that is, we need some very, where's my lightweight interfacing gone? There it is, haha. We need some fusible lightweight interfacing. So this is really, really light. Okay, hang on, let me just see if I can move this over. Oh, I've got bits of paper and everything everywhere today. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, it's very, you can see it's a really, really lightweight, ultra lightweight or light. You want, this one's a 180, which is the lightish one. Okay, smooth side is the non-sticky side, bobbly rough side is the glue. Okay, so what you're going to do with this one is you also need, now you can just trace these out, you could print these many times and just cut one of these out, but because I'm going to show you needle turn as well, I'm going to use a bit of freezer paper and trace out one of your hearts, okay, just to start with. You're just going to use this as, oh, try not to go too wonky, you're going to use this as a template. So I'm using freezer paper, traced out a heart. Get rid of that up there. Cut this one out, all right? And you could, this could be out of template plastic. It's just, but you know, it's just you need something to draw around. So I'm going to use a bit of freezer paper for ease. And I've just realised I'm being very naughty and using my fabric scissors on freezer paper. But I've done it, so it's my own fault, isn't it? Nobody else I can blame for that. Here we go. So how's everyone doing? Perfect explained. Brilliant. You like applique? I like applique too, Han. Thank you. Yeah, that came out quite nicely. It's practice though. We have done it a lot. I have done it lots and lots. So on the wrong side of your fabric, draw round your heart. Okay. I'm just going to use a pencil, but again, probably best not to use a Frixion with this because we're going to be ironing. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to have to use a Frixion because that pencil's just broken. I'm going to be careful with this, alright? So, draw round your heart. Whatever where you've made your template, whether that's a bit of template plastic, a bit of cardboard, just a piece of printer paper or freezer paper, you just need the shape. Okay? Like that, alright? You're going to cut this out a bit bigger, and it can be really rough. It doesn't matter, just cut it out of your fabric like that. Get rid of that a second because we need that again. And then you want enough of the fusible interfacing to be roughly the same size. Okay, it's going to get trimmed down, so it doesn't matter too much, but you want it to be roughly the same size. Have we done this method before, guys? Can you remember if I've taught you this before? I don't know if I have. Now this is where it's going to feel odd. Okay, you're going to put the glue side against the right side of the fabric. Okay, which you might want to go, oh, we don't want to do that because glue against the fabric, but nothing's going to happen until you iron it later, and it'll be different by then. So you're going to put the glue against the right side of the fabric like that, and we're just going to pop a couple of pins in. So I'll just grab a couple of pins, and I am going to use my little applique pins because they are brilliant for this. I would not be without them, particularly for the needle turn that we're going to do in a minute. Okay, some pins in. You don't want that to move. What we're going to do now is we're going to stitch on that drawn line all the way around. So just remember that the glue is actually going to go on the right side. So back over here we go, and off we go again. Oh no, because I've got to put my stitch back, haven't I? Haha. There we go. I would go slightly smaller on the stitch length. I'd take it down to like 1.8 to 2. You want it to be quite a neat small stitch on this one. Okay, and then we're just going to stitch on the drawn line. Down that side, stop at that point. There's a little trick I'm going to show you in a minute with the top piece up here. to get the point neat. Okay, again, go slow and steady with it. With the curves, stop often, take 2 or 3 little stitches. The neater you are with this, the more accurate your hearts and more sort of rounded they'll be. So, you know, don't rush it. Go nice and slowly and take nice little, you know, 2, 3 stitches and off you go. So how's everybody been? Apart from poor Eileen with her COVID, bless her. Is everybody else okay? Has anybody else got the lurgy? When I've got to the bottom, so the point of the heart down here, okay, I'm going to take one little horizontal stitch. So what I mean by that is that if I just grab that piece of paper, I stitch on the drawn line, and when I get to here, I'm going to come to the point and I'm going to take one horizontal stitch before going back up. That one little horizontal stitch will give you the fabric just enough what's the word, room to breathe, basically. It's wiggle room for the fabric this time. So I'm going to take one little horizontal, rather than pivoting, take that horizontal, okay? And then we're going to go back round. So, have I done this with you? Does anyone remember? Anyone remember whether I've done interfaced applique? I genuinely can't remember if I've done this with you guys. Here we go, all the way around. So I'm just getting around those nice curves again, and then we can go down that long edge there, okay, and just fasten off. I'm on day 8 of COVID, starting to feel you're on the upswing. Oh, bless you. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, lovely. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. Right, so all I've done is just stitch on that drawn line. Take those little pins out a second. First things first is we're going to cut it. You've used it before, fabulous. It's new for you. Oh, cool. It's slightly different to how we'd normally do it. You're going to trim this back to what? About 1/8 of an inch all the way around. You know, you don't want a big seam allowance. You want about 1/8 of an inch, which is why you want a nice small stitch on this one. Lots of people really like this one. If they don't like needle turn, they really like this this method. It is quite a nice way of getting very accurate results with it. Okay, I'm also going to just chop off the point like that, and I'm going to make it, in fact I'm going to use little scissors. I'm going to make a little tiny snip, don't snip your stitches, into the top there. Right, so at the minute you've got an inside out heart with no way of pulling through. What you're going to do is you're going to make a snip in the interfacing there, right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to clip into the curves. I could have used my pinking shears actually, that would have worked. Just clip round those curves like that all the way around. Again, just be careful not to snip your stitches, which I think I just did, damn it. It's because I was trying to look at the comments as well as snip. Okay, pinking shears might have been easier actually. You're then going to turn it through. You're going to turn it through that little snip you made. Okay, it doesn't matter if this rips. All right, don't worry about ripping this. Obviously, don't rip it right the way up. But if you need to rip it a little bit to get it through, that's fine. You're not going to see any of it. Okay. I've seen this before. No idea where. I think it was YouTube for Dresden plates. Yes, they do use this sometimes for Dresden plates. Yeah, if you're going to applique Dresden plates rather than do them like pieced and then attach. It's quite a popular one for that. So yeah, very possibly. Get yourself a little turner or little scissors and just pull this through. Okay, run your scissors or your turner right the way along that edge like that. Can you see? Okay, get that nice and neat. And because that was against the rough side, the glue was against that, it's now on the outside. It's now on the outside, and we can use that to stick it to the what's the word? The background fabric. So I'm gonna just push this out. A lot of people like this as well because you really can get very, very accurate shapes. Really, really nice accurate shapes, depending on what your stitching's like, or your drawing, I suppose. See, that was a bit wonky because that's the way I drew it. But you can get really nice, but I actually quite like quirky hearts, make them a little bit different. I think you showed us how to do it for this. Oh, I did, Jean. Yes, you're right. I remember. Yes. So, if you're going to do this method, you would make all your hearts, just like we did with here. Okay, line this up. This is actually the wrong heart because it was off the other template, wasn't it? But you would do exactly that, and then you would line that up like that. Remember, this is now glue on the back. Okay, just move this in, and then you can iron it in place, and the fusible interfacing will hold it in place for you until you stitch it. Okay, so like that, and it's now, I could peel it off because it's still hot, but that's pretty stuck there. We'll give that another little, like that. Yeah, and that's down. Okay, so you can do it that way, and then you can, if you don't like raw edge applique, you know we were saying you can just straight stitch around these. You could do this and then just straight stitch. You can do decorative stitches on this one because the raw edges are all enclosed. You can play around with this more. You can free motion into it and things like that. Karen, I had to make 232 orange peels for a quilt using this method. Oh, use an expert. Susie used this method to make a circle. Yes, yeah, and that's very often done, hun. That's very often done. Really interesting. Do you do this on the craft store? I can't remember if I've done it on the craft store, hun. Might have done. Can't remember. But yes, it's a nice method. It gives you a really nice clean edge. You can also use this method if you want your applique to be slightly raised, because you can stuff a little bit of stuffing or a little bit of wadding in there, stick it on, and then stitch into it. Okay, so method number 2 of how you can applique your hearts. All right, you sort of all okay with this so far? Everybody all right? Let me know if you are. So bondeweb, blanket stitch or straight stitch, interfaced, and then you can then just stitch around that, or decorative stitch. You can hand stitch it on if you want. You can, if you want to, do the little blind hem stitch which I'm going to show you if you want to. Okay, so it's just another way of doing it. Last but not least is, I'm going to use my, oh, it was a wonky, yeah, look, it was a real wonky template. I didn't draw that out very well, did I? Look. One heart's much rounder than the other. Is we can do some needle turn. Okay, needle turn is the most traditional form of applique. It is always hand sewn. You really can't do needle turn on the machine. It just doesn't work like that. Okay, couple of little tips for needle turn. You're going to need freezer paper or a template plastic. Teeny tiny little pins. I love, and Sarah, and we've talked about these a lot, the little clover applique pins are a godsend for needle turn, and I really like applique needles. So these are the Roxanne applique needles. I'm hopefully getting some in from EQS soon. They're about 10 quid, but I've got 50 in there, and this is they come in this really little pretty glass tube with a little seashell on top as well. This one's covered in duct tape because I dropped it and smashed it. So I'm going to take a needle out. Okay, they're very fine, but they have quite a decent, I know you can't see on camera, but they've got a decent-ish eye, so you haven't got to worry too much. Would that be similar to Trapunto? Yes, it is. That's exactly what Trapunto is, and that's how you do Trapunto as well, is with you use a muslin backing and stuffing, but you could use the interfacing. I'm gonna thread a needle now, live on air. There we go. Let me see if my eyes are good enough for this today. Oh yeah, oh, look at that, first time. Okay, so thread a needle. I do really like the Roxanne needles. You can get them on Amazon, the A word, or if anyone's going to a festival or anything like that. I always tend to pick up lots when I'm at a festival because I do go through them. But the Roxanne applique needles big eye applique needles are fantastic. Well, our fabric back again, don't we? So the difference with needle turn is you work on the right side of the fabric. Okay, so we're going to come and just make some space. I've made a right mess. Made a right mess. Okay, let's take that off. So we use freezer paper for needle turn. It's the easiest way to do it. You're going to draw out your heart. So I'm going to use this one. I know it's wonky drawn, but I'm going to use this one. And one side is waxed Okay, so it's actually like a waxed greaseproof paper, freezer paper, but it's much thicker than normal greaseproof. The wax is going to go down onto the right side of your fabric, okay? And then you're just going to very quickly iron it on so that the wax melts just a teeny tiny bit. I mean, it's not going to affect your fabric in any way, shape or form. It's not that type of wax. But what that does is just temporarily sticks it onto your fabric so that you can get a really nice clean line off your template. Okay, because if this was just a bit of freezer paper, it can move and then you get it all wonky. Particularly if you're doing smaller circles and things, freezer paper is brilliant. I really shouldn't have put the iron on that without my board because I've warped my cutting mat. Then draw around it, okay? And you do want to use a chalk pencil or a Fritz-on, something that is easily removable. Don't use a pencil, a normal pencil. It will, it smudges into your fabric, particularly if you're using light fabrics. You get horrible grey as you're handling it, horrible grey smudgy line which you just can't get rid of. So go with chalk or something that you know is going to be washable, okay, like a washable marker. You can then peel that template off and you can see I've got a nice clean template. You can use this 3 or 4, 5, 6 times. So I can go again, iron it down, draw it out, again, iron it down before I have to cut any more. All right, so it's quite economical as well. You're still with me? You're not anybody fed up of me talking yet? You're all right? I just realised what the time is. You want to cut about scant 1/8 of an inch. So you want to be, you know, quite, let me hold this quite up close for you. About that much. There's my little finger, yeah. So a little 1/8 of an inch. You don't want to be turning under too much. Okay. Now, if you really get into needle turn, you want to look at Sandy Lush's needle turn. She is just beyond amazing. She's written some amazing books on it as well, which is always worth having a little look at. Her quilts at Malvern and all over the Grosvenor shows are just, oh, they're just fantastic. I mean, they're not necessarily my taste as in colour-wise and subject matter, but the work is beyond beautiful, beyond beautiful. I'm giving you a very rough go at this. Although I do like needle turn. I do use it a lot, and I used it on the quilt behind me. Again, just before you start, just gently snip into that, what's that bit called of the heart? The bump of the heart? No, I don't know what you call that bit. But don't go right to the line. You just want to snip a little bit, okay? Right, needle turn. Again, line up, add that in. So what you want to do is just make sure, so I would use a pin through like that and make sure I'm hitting the line. You see, I'm not, so I want it to be about there. Oh, no, because these are actually the wrong hearts, aren't they? There we go. So, but get it in the right place, basically. And this is where, yeah, little applique pins come in. Pin it down, all right? Let me just get my finger under there so I can pin it down. There we go. Move my template back out the way. Pop some pins in there. Like that. Keep the pins sort of central. The reason that we use these for applique is they're very short. When you look at that pin against, I put that on the red, that pin against a normal, that's a silk pin, and that's quite, you know, it's like half the size. It means that you can hold it and manipulate it without getting stabbed all the time. It's just, they're so much easier. Right, I'm going to try and do this on camera, and I hope you can be able to see. The cleavage of the heart, I like that. The heart's cleavage. Like it. Okay, I'm going to, where should I start? I'm going to start here so that I can show you how about, no actually no, because I really want to show you there, so I'm going to start down here. Okay, scrunch it up. Alright, scrunch it up. Don't worry about scrunching it up, it's absolutely fine. What you want to do to start with is you want a little back stitch behind the heart. So move the fabric out of the way, and that's why I said don't pin it right on the edge. Move the fabric right out of the way and do a nice little, and I know I've shown you needle turn before, but I just wanted to reiterate it for anyone who hasn't done it. Okay. This drawn line is going to be a fold line. Now I absolutely cheat and I use my fingers rather than the needle to get it started. Okay, so I've folded it on that line. I'm really hoping, can you guys see this? Is this in the right place? Can you actually, do I need to be closer? I'm going to take a tiny little snippet of fabric from behind, so I'm making sure that I'm underneath the fold, okay, like that. And then I'm going to come up, I'm going to bring my needle up right on the fold, and the more that you can get on the fold, the more invisible your stitches are. Okay, so I'm going to go behind the heart and up in the fold. And you're going to do a little invisible slip stitch. Okay, so this is basically how you do binding. Okay, it's basically binding. On another device in Foundry, sorry you're late. Oh, don't worry, lovely. Remember, it stays on the Facebook page, so you can catch up. But shout if you've got any questions, okay? And I'll try and catch up with you, okay? So we're going to just do all the way down like that. So when you get to the point where you haven't folded it under, you can use your needle just to tuck that fabric under. And basically, I don't want to see the pencil line, that the drawn line. That drawn line should be just folded under. Folded? Folded, yeah. Oh God, that didn't sound right. Up on the fold like that. Okay. And can you see that you can't see the stitches? I mean, that one went a bit wonky, but you really can't see those stitches. I've gone from here to there, and there's no stitches. They're not particularly close together on the back as well. Hopefully you can see that. When you get to the point, okay, this is where you want to do a bit of jiggery pokery. Okay, I'm going to fold that with my finger on the drawn line, but I've got this horrible little, can you see? I've got this horrible little dog ear. All right. Now fold that in like that and give it a good finger press. Really finger press it like that. And what that'll do is give you a little crease. Now I flip that under. Flip it under there like that. And once you get used to using your needle for these things, I'm sorry, it's really hard to show you on camera. Like that, and then flip that one under. Okay, to get that really nice sharp point. And then go down behind, come right up on the point, like that. Down back. I'm trying to do this away from you to hold it flat, because normally I'd be working like this, but trying to work at an angle so it's flat for you guys is not the easiest, because I'm trying to second guess myself where the line is a bit. Use my needle, tuck it under like that, and you just work up bit by bit, so back behind, up through the fold, back behind and up through your fold. I really enjoy needle turn. Again, you know I'm not a hand sewer, I don't do a lot of hand sewing, but there is something very calm and peaceful about it. It's a bit like Manx. If I'm going to do, if I'm going to do hand sewing, I want to do something that, I like doing. If I can't use my machine, if she's out of action, or if it requires hand sewing. See, I'm one of those people who likes putting the binding on. I love doing the bit of binding, because I find it quite relaxing, the hand sewing on the back. Here we go. So I won't do any more, but hopefully you can see, or not see rather, the stitches. Okay, can you see that the stitches are pretty much disappeared? All right, and you would work your way around. When you get up to the top bit, you literally just make sure, because I've done that little snip, in and in like that, stitch in, make sure you've got a stitch right in the cleavage bit, and back round you go. So that's your 3 ways of Bondaweb. It's going to be Bondaweb for you. Not going to be patient or sticking your finger for needle turn. Fair enough. That's absolutely fine, lovely. And if we just come back over here a second, this one I did with Bondaweb and blanket stitch. That one I did with Bondaweb and blanket stitch, and that one I did. I decided to do needle turn on that one and that one. Just played around with it. It doesn't matter that they're different. You could do each block slightly different if you wanted to, entirely up to you what you decide. You might be somebody who loves hand stitching, so therefore a bit of needle turn's lovely, or the fused one with the interfacing, and then sit and hand stitch them, because actually it looks like needle turn without all that fiddly bit, because it's stuck there already, and you just do that slip stitch all the way around, just like we were doing then. Or you can machine stitch it in afterwards. So you choose which method you want to do. You are going to make 2 of block A, okay? So, oh, hang on, back over here. So you're going to do 2 of block A, okay, which is that one. You're going to make 1 block B, which is that one, which is the wider one. It's slightly wider, it's 16 inches in order to make it work. If you want to add extra hearts or flowers or anything else to it, go for it. It's your block. Go for it. Absolutely add it all in. And then you want to make 2 of the little pieces. Okay, and if you have a little look on block A's template, it says use the curly swirly, the snail and the asterisk as templates for block C. So you're going to use this one and this one to make block C. Okay, so if you look on the back here, block C has got a big one and 2 little ones, and I've used these ones for that. Okay, so you can use those templates, mix and match it however you want to use those hearts. You don't have to have them looking exactly like that. You could have rows of hearts if you wanted to. It don't have to be hearts. If you want to do stars instead, entirely up to you. Okay, it really is. All you need to do is make sure that you've got your 3 blocks plus these 2 pieces the right sizes. If it doesn't all go together, which we will be putting a bit in here, but you can vary this to make it fit. Okay, so yeah, that's it for week 5 with your applique bit. Okay, there's not a lot of piecing, it's all a bit of applique with this one. Next time, well, I was going to finish it next time with blenders and putting it all together, but I think that's too much to do in one evening because we'd be here for about 2 hours. So what we're going to do in a fortnight's time is your blender rows, which is this one. Oh, they're on the other side of the quilt. There's 3 blender rows, which are like little pieced stop borders. So we're going to do all 3 next time, and then a fortnight later I'm going to add on a fortnight. A fortnight later we're going to put it all together, okay? And I'm going to show you about squaring up your blocks properly. If they're not quite big enough, don't panic. We'll make them big enough. I can show you how to do that. With the little row with the smaller blocks, we're going to put those pieces in, and then we're going to look at how to lay it out and make it your layout and how you want to do it. Okay, so any questions, anybody wants to ask me? Yeah, anything there? Are you all okay with what we've gone through tonight? The pattern makes sense now. Brilliant. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, it does look a bit odd at first, doesn't it? But hopefully that all makes sense now. Fab. No problem, Jean. Thank you for joining me. Thanks, Lindy Lou. I see you in work tomorrow. Cool. If you've got no other questions, if anybody got anything they want to ask very quickly. No? Brilliant, thank you. Thanks, Louise, that's lovely. I will see you all tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I've called it a petal pouch, but it's like a drawstring bag with petals. So we're going to have a little go at that. Really cute little project. Be nice for Easter, fill some chocolates or something. But we're going to have a little go at that. And a really, really simple little idea. And then back next week. So I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Have a lovely evening. I'm going to go and stuff my belly with more chicken because it was delicious. And maybe I was going to say I might have a gin and tonic, but I've still got 1 day left of antibiotics, so I better not. I'll have a cup of tea. I'll have a cup of tea with the chicken. And I will see you all tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye. Oh, sorry, I've just seen a quick question come through. What's the best thread for applique? You will have Quilt Police perfectionists, purists out there saying that you should use very, very fine thread. And actually the something like Aurifil, which is a 50 weight, does, if you're doing needle turn, does actually slide through the fabric slightly easier. However, I was just using moon thread. I've used moon thread a lot, works fine. My big Irish circles quilt that was all hand appliqued and everything, used moon thread, absolutely fine. There's no quilt police. Go with what you feel works. A finer weight is slightly easier if you're hand stitching. If you're machine blanket stitching, anything is fine. You know, go with a variegated, go with a Gutermann, go with Aurifil, moon thread, whatever your machine likes. For needle turn, you can do it with moon thread or any thread, Metler, Gutermann, whatever you like. But the lighter weight one, a finer thread, or an extra fine thread. Some people will, like some purists will say, oh, you must use silk threads and things like that. I've used them. They're very lovely to work with. They're no real different to the end effect than using other threads. So, because you can't see the stitches anyway. So, if you're going to hand stitch, maybe go Aurifil. But apart from that, I don't think it really matters. Certainly doesn't matter for your machine. But if you haven't got Aurifil, any thread works, guys, honestly. You know me, I'm not a quilt please person. I really don't mind. But yes, Dawn, I would, if you're going to needle turn, then maybe start with Aurifil. It's slightly more expensive, but well, you might not like it. If you've not done it before, then just use a normal thread. And then if you really get into it, and you really want it to be perfect, then maybe go with a more expensive thread then. Okay, cool. No other questions popped up then? No? Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to go then and eat. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Oh, see you tomorrow. Bye.